Welcome back to Tammy Talks About, and today we're going to talk about the power of positive thoughts. And the reason I'm talking about that today is on Thursday night, Les over at Spiritually Empowered Coaching did a live stream for her members, and that live stream was about positive thoughts and the power that they have. And I was really impressed with the live stream. I learned a lot from it, and I took everything that she told me to heart, or told us, to heart, and I just wanted to share with you the changes I've seen just in the last few days. Now, as I said, that live stream was on Thursday, and as I record this, it's Monday. So, I've already seen changes in just a few days. Now, what she had us do is at the end of the live stream, she gave us some homework. And she said to just take a Post-it note and write down the phrase, I am worthy, or I'm good enough, something along those lines, and put it where you see it every day. And it should be somewhere where it's the first thing you see in the mornings. So that's what I did. I got me a Post-it note and I put, I'm good enough and I deserve to be happy. And it's the first thing that I see in the mornings, and it's the last thing I see at night. And I try to go through the day saying that to myself several times. And already I am noticing that mentally I feel better. I feel more confident. I feel less stressed. And physically I'm noticing that I'm getting more things accomplished. I'm comprehending things a little bit better. I've already learned several things about this video thing that I probably wouldn't have learned as easily a few days ago. And it's just really amazed me. And I thought that I would do a video on this and share a little bit of my backstory and kind of let you see how important this is and how life can affect you. For myself, I'm going to start with, in 2015, I lost a job that I'd had for nearly 10 years as a pharmacy technician. And the reason I lost it was due to absences. The absences had come about because physically and mentally my body was just giving up on me. I had been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in both knees, both shoulders, in my neck and in my back. I had been diagnosed with deteriorating disc disease. I had been admitted 3 times within 3 years to a psychiatric unit and had basically had a nervous breakdown. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder, and at that time it was manic depression. It's now bipolar disorder. And I have panic attacks. So between all of my physical and mental illnesses, basically, and my stressful job, and then the stress of my home life, my body and my mind was like, enough. During that time, well, soon after, right around that time, my mother suffered a major stroke that 4 years later would take her life. And one of the things that I realized that there's not, and I think I've known this all along subconsciously, I just don't think that I voiced it. And what I realized is that my mom was always my biggest fan. She always believed in me, was forever telling me that I could do anything I wanted if I put my mind to it. She just was always the positive part in my life. And for me, I'm a very negative person. I've always been very self-conscious. At the time I was growing up, I was always taller and larger than the other girls, and wasn't as talented or pretty or, all of those things that everybody goes through as a kid. Well, it carried on with me throughout my life. I've always been very self-conscious of myself and never thought that I was good enough and never thought that I was talented or anything. I just never had any faith in myself. And so for me, the only positive thoughts that I ever had were from my mom and my daughter. I will say that my daughter has always believed in me and has always, told me that I could do whatever I wanted. But when I lost my mom and when I lost her telling me that, I think I just forgot that there are people in this world that believe in me. And more importantly, those thoughts weren't being put into my head constantly. And since that time, I have been fighting to get on disability. I've managed to, because of trying to get on disability, I've went through every dime that I've ever had in my life just trying to survive. And I have a job now. It's a part-time job that thankfully my church gave me. And thanks to the beer bug that came along, that part-time job that was earning me about, not even quite half of what I earned before, after the beer bug, I earned half of that. So this past year has been an extreme struggle. And as most of you who are part of our community knows, I lost my biological mother in December of this past year. And so, things have not been so great. And there's been positives. I have a beautiful granddaughter that was born just a little over a year ago. And we have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful family. I do have things in my life that are wonderful, and I realize every day how truly blessed I am. But it's the mental part. It's what I feel about myself that has struggled. And so when I started saying this mantra, I guess you'd say, a few days ago, I had my doubts as to whether it would make any changes. But as I told you at the beginning, I'm already seeing changes. And what amazes me is if in just a few days' time, I'm already seeing positive changes for myself. Imagine what it'll be like in 6 weeks, in 6 months, in a year. I'm just excited now for the future. And just like with this YouTube video, I could have never done this if it hadn't have been for the fact that I have faith in myself now. I'm setting goals for the first time in years. And that for me is an amazing thing. I just feel like that everyone needs to try and adapt this into your life. It's an amazing thing. Now I want to end this video by giving you a little bit of information about Les and how she came about doing what she does. And then I'm also going to talk to you about the woman who inspired Les, because she's a very inspirational woman in her own right. Now, I've got notes again because I want to make sure I get it right. So, let's see, let me find where I wrote it down about Les. Les is a certified life trainer, and she works with people on helping them heal their lives, get out of toxic relationships, and heal from those toxic relationships. And she is an amazing person. So if you're not subscribed to Les over at Spiritually Empowered Coaching, I highly suggest you go over and subscribe. You will be so happy you did. Now, Les, she quotes this Louise Hay very often. And Louise Hay she's a celebrated author and teacher of the power of positive thoughts, healing the body and the inner self. She is Her book, You Can Heal Your Life, has sold over 50 million copies. Now, she wrote numerous books in her lifetime on the subject of positive thoughts and healing your body through positivity. So I suggest you go and search for some of her books and just see what you can learn. She had a very traumatic early life that included physical abuse, rape at the age of 5 by a neighbor. She dropped out of school at 15 and gave birth to a child at 16 that she had to give up for adoption. She went on and married, and after a 14-year marriage, that marriage ended with her husband leaving her for another woman. And so that trauma, it taught her to study the power of thought. And so what she did is started researching. She joined a church, the first Church of Religious Sciences. Sorry, I didn't get that wrote down. And through there, she learned how powerful the mind is on our bodies and how positive thought can heal you. And her belief was that through her research, she realized that man has the ability to heal himself and expand his inner self through the power of positive thought and loving yourself. So she really took what she learned from that and lived it. She went through the rest of her life teaching people and living a life of loving herself and using positive thoughts to overcome things and to do better in life. You could do a quick Google search of her and you will find so many quotes and books and websites dedicated to what she taught. And I thought what I'd do is end this video with just a few quotes that I found of hers that I thought were pretty interesting. So the first one is, every thought we think is creating our future. Next is, the more gratitude I feel, the more I am aware that the supply is endless. Another one I liked was, the more we love ourselves, the less we project our pain into the world. And I'm going to end with this one. Remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and that hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. And well, no, I've got one more. I missed it, but I really love it, and I think it's a good one to end on. Life is a lottery that we've already won, but most people have not cashed in their tickets. And that's just a sample of the words that she has said. And I strongly encourage you to seek out Louise Hay. Seek out her teachings, her books, her quotes, and implement this into your life and see how it does. See what changes it makes in your life. In fact, I would love for you to come back to this video and tell me, or find me on social media and tell me how it works for you. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you will comment. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will subscribe. I ask you to please share this video, help me to grow, and just join me on this journey. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. And I will see you next time for Tammy Talks About.